How often have you found yourself racing from task to task, closing sales, juggling appointments, celebrating wins, yet feeling like something fundamental is missing? The numbers look good on paper, but your days feel scattered. You're making money, but you're just not sleeping well. There's a nagging voice that whispers, this is not sustainable. Chaos is expensive. Chaos in your process, or chaos in your operations, or chaos in your leadership, it all costs more than you realize. It doesn't just drain your energy, it drains your finances. And this, my friends, is costing you. Every confusing system, every redundant task, every messy handoff is quietly leaking money from your business. Today, we're gonna talk about those hidden costs and how to stop the bleeding. When we say business architecture, right, we're not talking about fancy buildings or complicated diagrams. No. We're talking about the basic framework that holds your business together. Clear visions, documented processes, defined roles, systems that support your mission, and structures that protect your livelihood. Many entrepreneurs never get explicit training on this. They're taught to hustle and to sell and to build relationships. All of these are critical, but too often, they never learn how to create a solid operational foundation. And as a result, they rely on their memory instead of documented systems. They keep critical data in their heads or in scattered files. They manage finances reactively instead of proactively. And they entrust compliance and protection to someday rather than building safeguards today. The result is chaos disguised as hard work, and chaos is expensive. Consider the insurance industry. According to one report, almost 89% of new insurance agents leave the business within 3 years. This high turnover isn't because these agents lack passion or talent. It's often because they don't have clear systems, mentorship, or structure to succeed. And the cost of replacing and retraining those agents is enormous for agencies. But the deeper cost is the unfulfilled potential of those individuals who burn out in a chaotic environment. Outside of insurance, the numbers tell a similar story. Studies on small business inefficiency suggest that chaotic processes and poor organization can drain anywhere from 20 to around 30% of a company's revenue. Even more sobering is research shows that up to 50% of a business owner's time is spent on tasks that could be automated or delegated if a solid framework and system were in place. For women entrepreneurs and athletes transitioning to business, the impact is magnified. Women often balance professional ambitions with caregiving responsibilities, meaning inefficiency takes time away from family and self-care. And then for former athletes, they're used to regimented schedules and clear playbooks. When they enter an unstructured business environment, it feels disoriented and wasteful. And the hidden cost isn't just financial, it's also emotional and psychological as well. I can hear it now. Tycoon, why does the lack of clear architecture matter so much? Well, I'm glad you asked. And the answer is this: it matters because instability ripples through every part of your business and life. For instance, take time leakage. Without clear systems, you spend time reinventing the wheel, searching for information, or fixing preventable mistakes. That time could have been used to grow your business or nurture your family. What about financial waste? Errors and redundancy create avoidable expenses. Missed deadlines lead to penalties. Unclear processes mean paying for services you don't need or failing to capitalize on tax and legal advantages. There's mental burnout. Constantly putting out fires drains your mental capacity. Decisions become reactive instead of strategic. Creativity suffers, and so does your health. A study by the American Institute of Stress found that chronic workplace stress costs U.S. businesses up to $300 billion annually in absenteeism, turnover, as well as lost productivity. That's a price tag of chaos. And then you have reputation damage. Clients notice when your business lacks structure, so missed calls, delayed responses, or inconsistent onboarding erode trust. And in today's market, reputation is the currency. A bad review or a negative word of mouth can cost more than any marketing budget can recover. Then you have the barrier to scale. So without architecture, growth amplifies problems. Every new client or team member adds complexity. Instead of accelerating, you feel like you're spinning faster and faster in the same place. So without systems, you're building on sand. For women in their prime working years and athletes moving into entrepreneurship, these consequences can stall careers and undermine long-term prosperity. I've seen brilliant women undercharge because their pricing structures were very unclear. And I've seen retired pros lose time with their families because they're handling tasks that could have been automated. That's just not going to work. When should you address this? Well, I submit to you before the chaos burns you out. I've talked to many owners and they say things like, I'll just build the structure once I'm bigger, Tony. So what happens is they equate systems with a certain revenue goal or team size. And in reality, architecture is what allows you to grow responsibly. I'm going to give you guys the signals that it's time to build your structure. If you're always busy but never advancing, hustle hasn't turned into progress. If delegation feels impossible, that means you don't trust anyone else to do things because processes live only in your head. When revenue comes and goes unpredictably, you have good months and you have bad months, but you can't explain why. When team turnover is high, so people leave because the roles and the expectations are just not clear. There's no visible roadmap. You're scaling into new arenas. So you've launched a new division, you've taken on more clients or hired a staff. Each change should trigger a review of your architecture. If any of these resonate, now is the moment. I don't want you to wait for a crisis to build a foundation, because the sooner you build structure, the sooner your business can run smoothly, even when you're not there. And that, my friends, is the beginning of time freedom. Now that we've identified the problem, let's talk solutions. Here's a generic but powerful framework for creating a clear architecture. Whether you're running a household or an insurance agency or even training company, these 4 steps apply. Step 1, you have to clarify and document. You got to start by clarifying your mission, your vision, and your values. Then document your processes. What is the mission and the vision? I need you to define why you exist and what success looks like. A written mission guides decisions and attracts clients who share your values. Then there's process mapping. So write down the steps you follow for everything. Lead generation, client onboarding, billing, communication. Include who is responsible at each stage. And don't worry about perfection. You can refine as you go. Then you have your SOPs or your standard operating procedures. You want to build checklists. Documenting how tasks are done frees you from carrying it all in your mind and makes delegation possible. This step feels tedious, but it's essential. You understand that written clarity liberates your mind, and that will align your team. Step 2, you have to create supportive systems. You have to put systems in place to automate and organize, like financial systems. I need you to invest in bookkeeping software, schedule regular budgeting reviews, and separate personal and business accounts. Knowing your numbers is actually going to be the thing that reduces the anxiety and informs smart choices. You have techs and tools. You have to use a CRM for client management, project management, software for tasks, and communication platforms for team collaboration. A system means every client, file, and task has a home. Then there's legal and compliance. You have to work with professionals to ensure contracts and licenses and insurances are current. This protects you from unforeseen liabilities. Then you have people systems. If you have a team, implement consistent hiring and training and elevation processes. Clear job descriptions and onboarding materials help team members perform confidently and stay longer. You see, systems aren't just software, they're routines. And the goal is to remove the reliance on memory and create a repeatable process that delivers consistent results. Step 3, we want to make sure that we protect your structure. Now that you've built the framework, the next thing is to protect it. Let's talk risk management. You're going to want to review your business insurance. You know, many entrepreneurs underestimate coverage. The majority of new insurance agents actually leave the industry within the 3 years, often because they lack guidance on protecting themselves and their clients. So don't let an oversight jeopardize your business and household. Then there's emergency planning. You want to build an emergency fund for your business. Unexpected expenses shouldn't derail your operations. You also want to establish contingency plans for key roles, like who steps in if you're ill or out of town. You have legal entities and governance. You need to consult with experts about the right legal structure. Is it an LLC, a corporation, a partnership? And maintain compliance. An attorney can help safeguard your personal assets and ensure you're meeting regulatory requirements. Protection might seem like a nice to have, but it's also essential. And without safeguards, one lawsuit or accident or any type of market shift can undo years of hard work and sacrifice. Step 4, you got to multiply and optimize. With clarity, systems, and protection in place, you're ready to multiply for your impact. Think about things like measuring and adjusting. You need to implement KPIs or key performance indicators to measure what matters. Client retention, conversion rates, profitability, product line. Review these metrics regularly and adjust strategies accordingly. Then let's delegate and train. Use your documented processes to train team members. Delegate tasks strategically so you can focus on things like growth and innovation and relationship building. Then let's scale intentionally. When adding new services or locations, adapt your architecture rather than reinventing it. Use the same principles, document, systemize, and protect. Then there's legacy and impact. So with time and mental energy freed up, think beyond income. How does your business support your community? How will you mentor the next generation? You see, stability allows you to invest in legacy. This is the step where leadership shifts from operator to visionary. You stop chasing tasks and you start building something that lasts. We've learned a lot, and I want to bring all of it home with a story. I'm going to tell you about a retired professional sprinter. We'll call her name Alexis. Alexis launched a boutique fitness studio. So here's the thing. When it came to discipline and coaching and structure, she thrived on this, right? Because this is the thing that allowed her to have so much success in her athletic career. So after retirement, she decided she wanted to open her studio, but she did it without formal business training. She was working 12-hour days, teaching classes, managing books, handling marketing, and doing her own bookkeeping. And here's the thing, the clients loved her, but she was exhausted. She had assumed that hustle alone would sustain her. 6 months in, Alexis missed a quarterly tax payment because of disorganized paperwork. A client slipped during a session and sued because her waiver wasn't updated. She realized she didn't have the liability insurance that she needed, and her dream was actually turning into a liability. But Alexis is a fighter. She didn't give up. You want to know what she did? She built architecture. So the first thing she started doing is she started clarifying and documenting. So she wrote down her mission to empower women through movement. That's what she wanted to do. And then she ended up creating SOPs for her class registration and safety protocols, as well as building. She then created systems. So she signed up for scheduling software and hired a part-time bookkeeper and used the CRM to keep client data secure. She next went into protecting and structuring. So she formed the LLC like she was supposed to. She purchased professional liability insurance, and she created a safety plan for her studio. That allowed her to multiply. So with the systems in place, she hired 2 instructors and offered online classes. And so she spent mornings developing new programs and afternoons speaking at schools about wellness. Her studio revenues doubled in her second year, and she regained evenings with her family. You see, Alexis never lost her passion. What she did is she gained a foundation, and that foundation gave her structure, and most importantly, it gave her security and freedom. Here's what we learned. Chaos is expensive. It drains money. It drains time, focus, and peace. It pushes capable professionals out of industries that they were built to thrive in. But it doesn't have to stay that way. At Insure Legacy, our focus is extremely simple. We help you think differently about structure. This is not hype. This is not noise, not chasing the next tactic. This is structure. So if this conversation helps you recognize where architecture may be missing in your business or financial life, don't let it stop there. This week, I need you to sit down and map out your processes. Trace your income flow. Notice where the decisions depend on memory instead of a system. Identify where chaos has been quietly costing you. And have an honest conversation about your blind spots. Review your protection. Clarify your numbers. Write down your mission and reinforce your foundation. Because clarity should not arrive after chaos. And whether you're building a company or transitioning from sports, leading a family, or you're serving clients, your work deserves infrastructure strong enough to sustain it. If conversations like this challenge you, sharpen you, and help you build smarter, make sure you're connected. I need you to hit that notification bell so you do not have to miss what's coming next. I need you to like, share, and subscribe if this brought value to you. And then drop a comment below and let us know what stood out. I want to thank you personally for helping us grow this channel as we continue educating the market with intention and integrity. But more importantly, take what you learned today and build something that lasts. Structure first, income second, peace always. So run well, young lions and lionesses. As always, Tony the Tycoon, I'm out.